Y bienvenidos a esta presentación de los mandatos afirmativos familiares. This presentation will discuss affirmative familiar commands, how to form them, when to use them, and how to use them with pronouns. What do we mean by familiar? Familiar is also going to be called or referred to as informal. By familiar, we are talking to someone that we would normally talk to in Spanish using the pronoun tú. This is someone of your own age, a friend, a family member, basically somebody that you are informal with versus formal, which would be a teacher or someone you just met that might be an older person. What do we mean by a command? There are two types of commands, affirmative and negative. While not a nice thing to do, kick the dog is an affirmative command because I am telling you to do something. While if I tell you don't be nice, that is a negative command because I am telling you not to do something. So how do we form the affirmative commands? It's very easy to form regular affirmative commands. You simply use a third person singular form in the present tense. For example, if you want to tell someone to play an instrument, it's simply toca. If you want to tell someone to eat, it's come. Now, while these forms may look like we just took off the R of the ending, we didn't. Please remember that it is the third person singular form. If we look at the verb escribir, the third person singular form is escribe. We didn't just take the R off of any of these, even though it may look like that to you in the first two examples. It's especially important to remember to get the third person singular form with verbs that are irregular. A stem changer, for example, jugad is juega. And if I tell you to think, I'm going to say piensa. There are irregulars. The following is a list of verbs that do not follow the rule of simply using the he, she, usted form. These simply need to be memorized. If you look at these, most of them, actually all of these are monosyllabic, which means that they have one syllable. Se needs the accent mark. Without the accent mark, se is a reflexive pronoun that we find on the end of bañarse, for example, or ducharse, or levantarse. Another group of irregulars have the word tener at the end. Mantener is to maintain, and since the command form of tener is ten, mantener is manten. We need an accent on the E for pronunciation purposes. Any verb that ends in tener is done in the same way. Some examples are contener, obtener, sustener. What do we do with pronouns in the familiar affirmative commands? By them, and the them refers to the flowers, a feminine plural noun. First we need the command, which is compra, third person singular form. To the command we add the pronoun, which in this case the direct object pronoun is las. And what we get is one word, both words connected to make one word, cómpralas. It's very important to note that if the command has more than one syllable and we're adding a pronoun, you need an accent mark on the third syllable from the end. Some teachers say that you can put it on the third vowel from the end. You always count syllables from the end of the word, not the beginning. Here are some examples. Do it. The it refers to la tarea. Hazla. An accent is not required because we are adding a pronoun to a monosyllabic command. Drink them. Bébelos. The way you handle reflexive verbs, and since these are all to commands, the only pronoun we're going to be using is te. To tell someone to take a shower is dúchate. And to tell someone to be quiet, maybe you've heard this from your teacher at one point or another, cállate. Practiquemos. Go to the office. Ve a la oficina. Leave the class. Sal de la clase. Both of these are irregular and do not simply use the he/she form. Speak more Spanish. Habla más español. Study tonight. Estudia esta noche. Play golf. Juega al golf. Eat them. The them refers to the fruits, which is a feminine plural noun. The direct object pronoun would be las, and the command is cómelas. Sit down is a reflexive verb and a stem changer. Siéntate. Gracias por ver esta presentación y te deseo mucho éxito.